Welcome to the SageWorks webinar, Thrive as the CPA Firm of the Future. The webinar today is brought to you by My Perfect Client, and they will also be facilitating the webinar today. Before we get into the webinar, I want to go over a few housekeeping rules on the next slide. A copy of the slides and the webinar will be sent to you following the webinar, so be looking out for an email from SageWorks that will give you a recording and access to all of the information that we cover today. And then you'll also be receiving your CPE credits from today's webinar through My Perfect Client, so be looking out for an email from them. In order to get your CPE credit, please stay engaged and answer all of the poll questions. And to help make this message today as engaging as possible, we'd really like to encourage you to be sending in your questions or your thoughts regarding the content so that we can address them throughout the webinar and kind of have some interaction with the audience. So if you look on the right side of your nav bar, there will be a questions box that you can actually open and just type in anything that you might be thinking or have thoughts through. So please just continue to send those our way, and the speaker today will be more than willing to answer those and will be helpful. And so before I get to finally introducing the speaker, I'd like to go over a little bit about SageWorks on one of the next slides. SageWorks is a financial information company, and we maintain the largest real-time database of private company financial statement information in the United States. And so what we do is we use these financial statements and their information in our web-based solution called ProfitSense. And this solution helps proactive accountants perform better benchmarking, forecasting, and other advisory services. And we've won several awards that you can see here on your screen, and we're really known for our customer service. The technology partnership that we offer our customers isn't a software peddler. We're not just handing off software, but we do a really good job of having consultants and advisors there to help you scale your business and offer the top-notch advisory services that you can offer. So that's one of the things that really sets us apart. And if you'd like to know more about us, just please feel free to go to sageworks.com. There's also some handouts in your side nav bar too for everything else that you could be looking for. So finally, I'd like to introduce our speaker before we get into today's webinar. Alex Tonkin comes from the same vein of wanting to help accountants become more proactive advisors to their clients. And he's going to share some really helpful insights today about how you can do that. And he will be giving all sorts of tidbits that are going to make your firm top-notch. Alex serves as a managing partner of Perfect Client Pro, which is a dynamic company that helps CPAs to become uniquely attractive to the ultra-affluent marketplace. In this role, Mr. Tonkin works closely with an exclusive group of leading CPAs from around the country as a multifaceted trusted advisor that teaches them how to develop deeper, more profitable relationships with their most important clients. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Alex and just let him go into this presentation that he's put together today. And we're really excited for him to be here and to be giving really insightful advice into how you can be a proactive accountant to your top clients.
Thank you so much, Zach. I really appreciate you guys having us. I want to thank SageWorks for the opportunity to work with us. I think every CPA that's on here, first of all, it's very humbling for me to be with all of you, but I think you guys are all in the right place. SageWorks is an amazing, amazing company. Hopefully, your investment of time today, my goal is to give you a tremendous return on your investment, and hopefully at the end of this presentation or interactive study group, you will see why SageWorks thought so highly of us to have us part of their community, part of your community, and have us share this idea of becoming a CPA firm of the future. Unfortunately, my client and partner and very, very good friend, Richard Musio, could not make it today because he is taking care of his wife, who is going through, just went through some surgery, and he is home taking care of her. But Richard, for those of you who don't know who Richard is a rock star CPA. He has got an award-winning radio show. IYmoney.com is the website to his radio show. He's a best-selling author. He is known as the family office guy because he went from 1,200 clients to 6. He only has 6 clients right now. He makes more money from his 6 clients today than he did from 1,200 clients years ago. Now, one of the reasons he went from 1,200 clients to 6 was he lost his eyesight. And so I know that the CPA profession is much more challenging today than it was 20, 30 years ago. I know the pressures, the challenges that are placed on your head. I deal with so much. We speak with thousands of CPAs a year, and we work with a lot of CPA firms, very large CPA firms, one-man shops, 50-man groups, very sophisticated firms here in Southern California, around the country. Our firm has been working with CPA firms for almost 2 decades, going on 19 years now, and the whole concept is how can we make the lives of CPAs easier and better. And so Richard found us, similar to how SageWork found us, and said, wow, you guys are talking and teaching and showing a concept that I'm really, really attracted to. And so today we're going to give you guys a bunch of nuggets, some things to take home into your practice to use with your clients. For some of you, some of these concepts may not be amazing. For some of you, it's going to be life-changing stuff. We're here to give you great content, a great return on your investment of time and energy. Some of you may be very compelled and very attracted to us because we have resources for you guys that you're going to want in your practice. Now, I want to apologize in advance in case some of you are so compelled that you're going to want more things from us. This is not meant to be a sales presentation of any kind. You will see at the end of this, we're not selling anything. We want to give things away. And for those of you who want more, we're going to show you a way to get more of us. And for those of you just who are here, invest some time with us, take what we can give you and use it in your practice and change your life, change your practice, and change the world one relationship at a time. That's really what we're all about. So when bottom line is, look, what does your perfect world look like? If you could snap your fingers and say, hey, I really want my world, my life, my practice to look like this, what would this be? And so here's just my attempt at a guess of what maybe some of you might think would be a perfect world for a world-class CPA. So one would be you've created an extra week per month outside the office for what's most important. How great would it be to be able to make the money you're making now, but be able to take 1 extra week per month, right? 12 extra weeks a year, and take that time and focus it on things that are most important to you. Maybe it's your faith, maybe it's your family, maybe it's an activity that you love, maybe it's coaching sports, involving, who knows what it is. Whatever it is that you love outside of your work, how great would it be to have an extra week a month to focus on what's most important? We know that your time is very limited because as a CPA we're asked to do so many different things. How great would it be for, Richard had 1,200 clients and now he's got 6. How great would it be for those of you who have 500, 700,000 clients to get down to only 50, your 50 best, or to have 50 A clients, where you can make twice as much from those 50 A clients as you're making from your entire practice? How much time would that free up, not have to service all those B and C clients? What if you had access to the very, very best resources in the country? We're going to talk a lot about this because this is one of the challenges that we see CPA firms having is we're limited as to resources that CPAs that we know that work in our office, CPAs that we know that work outside our office, maybe some attorneys that we work with, some advisors that we work with locally, and here is our network of knowledge, and it's a very limited brain trust. What if you could have access to the very, very best tax attorneys in the country, the very best resources, the very best specialists across every area of planning that affluent business owners and wealthy families need, and you had access to all those people without having to refer your very best clients out to them and deal with third-party referral risk? Because we know that when you make a referral, especially of your very best client, that could be problematic because lots of things can go wrong. So what if you could have all that? What if you had a waiting list? What if every business owner, affluent business owner, wealthy family in town who was hearing about you from their friends and family who are your clients, who you're delivering amazing experiences to, those people are now bragging about you at the best country clubs and the best dinner parties in town, and there was a waiting list of business owners going, I need to work with the CPA, and they can't get to you because you have you just have a list of people waiting to work with you, and you're just not willing to accept new clients. How great would that be? And you have offers to purchase your firm that are twice as much, 3 times as much as your competitors are getting. Why? Because you built your practice in such a way that you have no B and C clients. You only have A clients, right? Because people who are buying firms, what do they want? Do they want thousands of small clients? Maybe. Would they prefer maybe 50 or 100 A+ clients that have a lot of moving parts, that has a lot of revenue, and potential to make a lot more revenue per client than buying a firm with 1,000 clients and making a very little bit of revenue per client? What if you could make an impact, a bigger impact? Because we know that you didn't get in this business just for the money, right? Because the reality is most people could not do what you're doing for the money. You must be doing this for another reason, because your job is very difficult. Aren't you doing this to make an impact? What if you could make a bigger impact in your community, in the families of the clients that you serve, of the business owners that need leadership, that aren't getting the kind of leadership that they expect and need from their current CPA, who are looking for a better experience? What if you can make that impact on their lives and make a multi-generational impact where you are leading these families and leading them in such a way that they are leading their children based on your leadership? We're talking about making multi-generational changes. One of the things that's close to our heart is that we see advisors, CPAs, attorneys, and their affluent clients all doing what? We're building our businesses, but we're sacrificing everything for our businesses, including time with our families, all these other things that are important, and we're saying this is a common problem because it's not working, it's not creating the result that we want. We're not happier with more money because we're losing quality time with what's most important. So one of our leadership messages is to help CPAs to lead their business owners into saying, look, we need to create more time for what's most important. Building these incredible, whatever the size of these companies are, and making all this money is very, very nice, but let's not do that and sacrifice time with what's most important to you. That is a very powerful message, and it's not being delivered. And so this is just one of the side points that we'd like to make. So we don't live in a perfect world, right? Our lives are, outside of Richard Musio, who, again, went from 1,200 clients to 6 and has created all this time and is living in a relatively perfect world. Most CPAs, 99.5, 99.8% of CPAs from our vantage point are not living in that perfect world. They're living in a world like this, where there's very little time for what's most important. A lot of CPAs we know are losing some of their very best clients. I know this because I have incredible relationships with amazing CPAs, and they share this with me because they trust me, because I have an integrated relationship with them, and my job is to lift them up in such a way where they can't operate as efficiently without me and our firm. And so they share with me, hey, Alex, I think this is why I lost that client. And we talk about why. And we're seeing this across the board. Why are world-class CPA firms losing their very best clients? Because I know this keeps you up at night. I know this wakes you up at 4:30 and 5 in the morning. Hey, we just lost that client. That client represents 15, 20% of our revenue. How do we replace that? And what happens if we lose 2 more of our 8 clients? This is a major problem, and it's not being fixed. And I believe that our firm, that the reason SageWorks has us on here, the reason Richard Musio and all these top-notch CPA firms are attracted to what we're teaching is we are addressing this major problem, and we're helping CPA firms attract and retain their A clients, attract the A clients that are leaving their competitors, and retain the ones that they don't want to leave. But this is a major problem, and it's happening for many different reasons. We're going to talk about all those reasons, and we're going to talk about what the AI CPA is saying as a solution to this problem, and we're going to talk about what we see as a solution to this problem from working with the 0.001% CPAs in the country, and we're seeing what they're doing, and it matches what we believe is the answer, and we're going to share with you what's actually working for the 0.001%ers of CPAs out there. How are they retaining those A clients, and how are they attracting the ones leaving their competitors? Well, look, there are so many tax law changes, right? It's impossible to stay on top of it. Sometimes we're asked to, you're asked to wait to do tax planning because we have to wait for Washington, D.C. to make that tax law change so we can actually plan, and sometimes that gets in, we don't have very much time to make that plan. Look, the CPA's job is nearly impossible, and we understand that, and you understand that. Limited brain trust, we already talked about that. How do we deliver world-class solutions to our very best clients when we don't have access to the very, very best resources, the best tax attorneys, the best specialists, the best ESOP people, the best captive people, the best tax credit people, the best, all these potential resources that an affluent business owner needs. They need the best. They don't need the best local ones or the best ones or the best ones that aren't going to ruin the relationship that you're comfortable referring your clients to. They need the very best answers, the kind of answers that multi-billionaires have access to. They want those kinds of answers, and most CPAs don't have access to the very best resource in the country. They have a limited brain trust problem. Third-party referral risk. When you make that third-party referral, there's massive risk because you can lose your client because that guy can screw up. He can bring in his own CPAs. He can bring in attorneys who bring in their own CPAs. He can sell them all sorts of bad stuff that doesn't make the CPA referring look good. So there's massive risk in referrals, and yet CPAs refer clients anyway. So that's a major problem. We're going to talk about that. Again, we talked about A clients leaving for greener pastures. We're going to talk about organic. Look, if your very best clients are bragging about you because of the experience that they have with you and your process, and they're going, man, my CPA is amazing. You have got to go to my CPA. He's incredible. If that's happening, then I want to talk to you, and I want to find out how you're accomplishing that, because that's exactly what we want to happen with the CPAs that we work with. And for 99.9% of CPAs in the country, that is not happening. They are not bragging about you. They are not bragging about anybody. They're talking about what they saw on television last night. They're talking about sporting events. They're talking about whatever's going on in the world. There's all sorts of stories being told right now at country clubs, at lunch meetings, everywhere. Why aren't they talking about you? Why aren't they saying, man, my CPA, here's what my CPA did for me? Well, we know why, because you've got a million things that you're asked to do. You're asked to service hundreds of clients, over 1,000 clients. You're asked to stay on top of tax law changes. You're asked to work with your network of local resources that you trust aren't going to ruin your relationships with your clients. And guess what? They're not the best in the country. They're not giving the very best answers to your clients. So what are your clients going to brag about? My CPA is really nice. He prepares my tax return on time. He tells me what my quarterly payments need to be, and yeah, I'm paying. Why would they get excited about their relationship with their CPA? This is where we focus. We're going to show you in the next hour or so. We're going to show you exactly how we have CPAs create such an experience for their clients and create more time for themselves. We're not asking you to do more. We're asking you to do less. Just work smarter, not harder.
Hey, Alex.
Yes.
We have our first poll question. Sorry to interrupt like that.
Okay.
So here's the first poll question that I'm going to go ahead and launch. The question is, would making the same revenue from only 1/2 of your current clients make a big difference in your quality of life? You guys can go ahead and answer those questions, and I'll close out the poll and share the results really briefly so that Alex can make some comments off of that.
Thanks, Zach.
The last few are answering now. I'm about to close out the poll. All right, so it looks like it's kind of split between yes, creating more time would be a great game changer, and yes, however, that sounds too good to be true. And we have a little I'm not sure. What are your thoughts on that, Alex?
My thoughts are this. Look, before you guys before anyone gave you $1 for tax work, right? Remember your life before you were CPA, right? And could you imagine people paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to do tax work? That was probably hard to imagine because you didn't know how were you going to create value. And all of a sudden, you learned about tax planning, you learned about tax preparation, and guess what happened? You put a message out in the marketplace and said, hey, I can help you with your taxes. I can help you prepare that. Next thing you know, you got a client, then you got 2 clients, and now you got a lot of clients, right? And so that's just what happens. It's really simple. Once you understand how simple it is, first of all, we have to understand what do these affluent business owners want, and how do we give it to them? And what they want is they want one point of contact that they trust, and they would love it to be you. And they would love it to know that you have access to all the very best resources in the country. And today you're going to find out how to get access to all the very best resources in the country. And they don't want you to refer those out to those people. They want you to be the leader. And they want you to have access to the very best team in the country. And they want to make one phone call because of this. Look, if you're worth $50 million or $25 million or $10 million, you cannot afford to hire Richard Musio. You can't afford to build your own family office. Okay, you can't afford that because that's going to cost maybe $200,000, $250,000 a year to maintain, to hire all those people. And yet you've still built this incredible empire, but you can't afford a family office. But you're not getting the kind of service that a family office would provide, but yet you want that service. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. If CPAs figured out how to give affluent business owners what they need and what they want, they would form a line and be banging down your door to work with you. And that's just not happening. There's very, very few CPAs that are built that model that way. And so there's just, look, this is just one opportunity that we're going to address. But I'm just kind of sharing with you what's going on in the whole profession so you can see what your competition is doing, so you can think about what you're doing and show you an opportunity to take advantage of. Because right now there's a massive opportunity for those CPAs who are figuring out what affluent business owners want and need, because affluent business owners are not happy with their CPAs. And the statistics are incredibly powerful. And so that's the opportunity. Look, clients have access to information, right? So we're not here to give them information. We're here to give them leadership. They have access to the internet. If they need information, they can go online and get it. They don't need to go to you and get information. What they need is proactive planning. If they want a tax return done, you can get a tax return done for almost free. H&R Block Online is almost free. There's all the software that can get tax returns done for free. What an affluent business owner wants to pay for is value, is time, is efficiency. They want to make one phone call. They don't want to make 15 phone calls. They don't want to call their CPA, their attorney, their advisor, their CFO, their spouse, their partner, and ask them a complicated question, because they're going to get 7 different answers, and they're not qualified to sift through 7 different answers to figure out what's going on. And you're dealing with this. You are dealing with clients that come to you, that go to their CPA, go to their attorney, go to their advisor, and then ask you in the middle to help them deal with all this stuff. And guess what? They're going to go with the guy they trust the most. And so this is going to lead to the need for CPAs to develop better relationships. We're going to talk about developing better relationships. It's a massive opportunity, those CPAs who figure out how to strategically develop relationships. Because you can't develop relationships with 1,000 clients, but you can do it with 5 per year. So there's a system that we help CPAs utilize of how to get deeper, closer relationships with their clients. They want you to have a deeper relationship with them. They want to trust you. They want to trust you with everything, because guess what? They're not going to be able to figure out this financial world. They know how to make widgets and sell widgets, and they are trusting you to do some tax work for them. They would love to trust you with a lot more work, because who are they going to trust? So we're going to talk about affluent clients want more, they're underserved. That's the opportunity for those of you who want more time for what's most important, for those of you who want to increase your average revenue per client by over 500%. This is a great opportunity for you for the next 30, 40 minutes. So valuations are down because most CPAs aren't building their practices like this. They just have a lot of people, small clients, B and C clients. Those are not valuable. Because if I buy that firm, now I'm trading my time for money, and my time is running out. I am 43 years old. I have X amount of minutes left on this planet. We all know how to make money, but can we all know how to make time? Well, you can't just make time randomly. You have to do it strategically, and that's why we're here. That's why SageWorks has asked us to invest some of our time with you, because today you're going to learn a way to create time. And the only way to create time is to make more money in less time by delivering, in our view, and there's other ways of making more money, but in our view is let's deliver more value to our very best clients, have those very best clients sing our praises because the value and the experience is so incredible that they are compelled to tell the story of the CPA who delivered this experience, and all of a sudden the friends and family of that A client come to knocking on your door, and now all of a sudden you've built this practice. That is the aha, that's one of the aha moments. We're going to talk how to create, that's the punchline. How do we get to this punchline? So look, when you first started being a CPA years ago, some of you maybe, I don't know how long you've been CPAs, maybe some of you have been CPAs 30, 40 years. It was a skill set, it was well defined. If you're a good numbers guy, if you're an analytical guy, an engineering guy, hey great, become a CPA, it's very, very cool. Now all of a sudden your clients want more, they need more, you need to be a relationship manager, you need to essentially be a great communicator, you need a lot of skill sets, and all of a sudden you need to run a business more efficiently, you need to have access to great ideas. Where do we find this? And all of a sudden now the money is bigger, right? We know CPAs making 7 figures, high 6 figures. They probably never expected to make that kind of money. But because they're doing it right, they're delivering so much value, that value is being monetized. So we want to show you how that is being done from the top 0.001% of CPAs in the country, because the ones who are doing this right, like Richard Musio, he's running marathons during, you know, April 15th. I mean, he is writing books. He is, you know, we just launched a professional tennis tournament here in Carlsbad called the Carlsbad Classic. His wife and my wife are actually partners in this tournament. It was an incredible success, but we were able to donate our time to that and create something really, really cool with a bunch of professional women's tennis players coming to Carlsbad for a week, and some of them love their experience so much they're training here for another couple weeks waiting before their next tournament. We can't wait to do it again next year. If Richard was using the old, outdated CPA model, he would never have time for any of this stuff. And I've made that change in my practice too. I've gone from hundreds of clients to only 7 clients, and they're all CPA firms. And so even though we talk to hundreds of CPA firms a year, I don't want to work with hundreds of CPA firms a year. I would rather do education like this and in other venues and create more time for what's important to me, which is my faith, my family, and other things that are critical to me outside of my workplace. So do we want to create an extra week a month? Would that make a difference in your life? An extra week a month outside the office on what's most important. Some of you might say, hey, I just want to work. I love work. I hate my family. This is not interesting to me, Alex. Can you show me how I can work more in my business? Well, this is the wrong webinar for you, but hopefully there's going to be some nuggets for you as well. Do you want to make an impact? Do you want to deliver more value to your very best clients? Do you want to increase your average revenue per client by 500%? What if you could deliver such an incredible experience that there would be natural black hole marketing, that people would just be naturally attracted to you? And part of it is moving, you know, one of the strategies is to take your bottom 50% of your book of business and to sell that or monetize it, move it to another CPA firm, and generate revenue from that, but mostly create time and space to think, to live, to enjoy life. So the learning objectives. How do we provide what your very best customers want and need to become the most unique and differentiated CPA in your city? How do we monetize the best client relationships? Look, if we're going to ask you to take 5 of your clients to lunch this year and tell them, hey, I'm not going to charge you, I just want to take you to lunch, I want to invest some time with you. What if you took your 5 clients to lunch and deepened your relationship with them and earned more of their trust and was able to deliver more value to those clients? You could charge for that value. They want value. Would you pay for value? I would pay for value. Business owners will pay for value, and the thing they would pay for the most is time. The one thing we can all agree on as successful business owners and your clients who are successful business owners, they don't have time. They don't have time. They're busy, right? Try to get, you know, ask them to deliver paperwork on time. They're busy. They're late. Their lives are complete chaos. Especially the more money they have, the more chaotic their lives are. they need leadership and they need time, and you can be that leader for them, and you can help them create more time strategically. But first you have to show them how you're creating time for yourself, and you will lead them, and they will see, wow, you used to be really busy. Oh, you got rid of a lot of your clients so you can give me more attention, and you're changing, and you're taking your son skiing, and you're doing all this stuff with your family, and wow, tell me about how you're doing that. I want more time. I want to spend more time with my family. My business is eating me alive. Have that conversation. That's a real conversation. That is an issue that's facing every one of your business owners. I will guarantee you, not everyone, 90% of them. I know my wife, who runs a very successful health food company called Go Macro. I'm dealing with a very successful business owner in my home. She has no time. And if her CPA created more time for her by being a better leader, oh my goodness, it would change her life. She would pay for that, no problem. By the way, so we've been working with her CPA to create that, to create more benefit for my family and for her as well, and for the CPA. So learn how to monetize your best client relationships. Look, bottom, if you're going to do this investment, you need to monetize these relationships so you can go ahead and create that time for yourself as well. How do we find? Look, you all know there's amazing tax attorneys in the country. They're out there. Where are they? We are attracting the very best tax attorneys, the very best specialists in the country who want to speak to our network of CPAs. We have a very, very large and vast network of CPA firms around the country. The very best tax attorneys, the very best specialists in the country want to work with us so they can talk to our CPAs. So we spend a lot of time, we invest a lot of time each year vetting out the very best tax attorneys. We have found some amazing, look, there's a lot of attorneys that aren't amazing, a lot, okay? But there are a handful that are incredible. They've got great ideas. There are incredible resources to do employee stock ownership plans in very creative ways. There's a lot of very bright people. I would say there's maybe 200-300 incredibly bright people in this country that we can trust. And if you don't have access to 1, 2, 3, or 4 of them, your clients are not getting access to the best ideas in the country. How would you like to say, put on your website, we have access to the very best resources in the country, not just locally, in the whole country? Would that make you more valuable to affluent business owners? I think it would. Or are you going to say to your clients on your website, we don't have access to the very best resources in the country, but I work with my brother-in-law and he's pretty good. I'll refer you to him because he's not going to screw up my relationship with you, because I don't want anyone to screw up my relationship with you, and I don't want him to take you away from me. So we work with local, pretty good resources who are not the best, but they probably won't screw up my relationship with you, and that's why we work up with them. Are you willing to put that on your website? Are you willing to share that with your client? Let's be honest. That's why we do it. So no. So how do we have access to the very best resource in the country? Do we have time to meet these people? How do we do that? Deliver that value to the client without third-party referral risk? We're going to talk about that today. Our CPA firms that we meet are so excited about that one idea. That one idea. They're blown away by how we do it, and it's so simple. How to build better relationships with affluent business owners, okay? Create more time with what's most important. Getting rid of your B and C clients. And now we're going to talk about 8 great questions. So this is from Richard Musio. I'm going to, look, I apologize that Richard Musio is not here. A lot of you who are probably like sick and annoyed with me a little bit would love Richard Musio because he is a world-class CPA. He talks a little bit slower than me. He's way smarter than me, and he might connect with you a little bit better. But we'll send you guys a webinar with him and I together. So hopefully you'll forgive me for being a little bit annoying to some of you. I know I can be that way. But again, I apologize in advance. I can only be me, so I'm going to do the best I can. I cannot be Richard Musio. So I'm going to take his 8 great questions. These are questions that he asked affluent business owners. Look, he has billionaire clients. He has clients worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He is a world-class communicator from a CPA's perspective, and we are so blessed to be able to have his experience and knowledge that he brings to the table, because he has billionaire families and families worth hundreds of millions of dollars literally waiting for his next word, and when he says jump, they say how high. And and there's a way to communicate, and there's a strategy. We're going to share that with you today. So what we're going to jump into is the traditional referral model. Look at the CPA. You're in the middle of the screen. You've got your clients pulling you in one direction, and you've got all these referral relationships pulling you in this other direction, and you're in the middle, and you have to manage all of it. And how fun is that, right? And so, yeah, it's very challenging to be a CPA, and that's why I love getting up in the morning and helping CPAs create a model that serves their life so that you can have a higher quality of life, so you can teach your affluent business owners how to have a better quality of life, and using strategic concepts. And so the AICPA is also aware that the CPA profession is changing, and they are aware that, hey, you can't just do tax returns. You have to do proactive planning, right? So they're saying, look, instead of just selling a tax return, because your clients may need a tax return, they don't want, who wants a tax return? Do you guys want a tax return? I don't want a tax return. In fact, I wish we got rid of them. But we need tax returns, right? So your clients need it, they don't want it. It's a commodity. If you're in the business of selling just a tax return or an audit, if you're selling commodities, what's going on with your pricing? Pricing is going down. Commodity pricings are going down. What do people want? They want leadership. They want ideas. They want to help them proactively plan in the future. So the AICPA is realizing that they're going, hey, you need to become the most trusted business advisor. Right? According to the AICPA, you need to become the most trusted business advisor. You need to find these resources. Go out there and find the best tax attorneys. Go out there and find the best qualified, non-qualified planners. Go find the best retirement planners, business valuation expert, tax law. Go find these people, and then you need to go out there and let the clients know that you have these people. And then how do you send your clients to these people? Do it however you need to do it. And meanwhile, the CPA is going, wait a minute, I already don't have time for my family, my faith, things that are more important to me. I am spending 80, 90 hours a week during tax season to do tax, and you're saying to me, no, that's not enough. You want me to give you more time and find these resources. Where am I going to find them? CPAs generally don't like going to networking meetings and doing all this stuff. That's not the kind of mindset that most CPAs have. So this AICPA is asking you to do something that you're not comfortable doing, and you don't want to do, and you don't have time to do. And we realize that, and we've talked to the AICPA about this, and we're saying, look, over the last 2 decades, here's what we've come up with as a solution. Yes, we recognize you need to have resources, so here's what we've done. We have been vetting out the very best resource in the country for the last 20 years. And we're basically saying, look, here's the CPA. You need to focus on your very best clients and find out what they want and go have conversations with them. We're going to talk about some scripted conversations that you should be having with your very best clients. Now, guess, I get it. Some of you, your very best client might be worth $1 million. Some of you, your very best client might be worth $100,000. For some of you, your very best client might be worth $1 billion or $100 million. It doesn't really matter. Once you figure out this strategy and this formula, you will be able to attract the most affluent business owners in your town because they all want similar things and they're not getting it. And so we're saying, look, the CPA, focus on your clients and plug in and partner with someone called Perfect Client Advisor. That Perfect Client Advisor could be someone in your office that is trained to do this, okay? There are firms that do this. Our firm, we're going to show you a place where you can meet resources that act as the Perfect Client Advisor to support the best CPA firms in the country. We have multiple analysts, and what we've done is we've created an entity that has a number of analysts, and they are fluent in all of these different strategies. So they work with the best tax attorneys, the best specialists, and all of these specialists we gather together twice a year at conferences to better work together as a team, to share their ideas with the CPA firms that are attending those conferences so they can show you the processes. We're going to show you some of these processes of accessing these ideas and delivering those ideas to your very best clients without third-party referral risk. Because look, this way you can tell your client base that I have access to the very best resources in the country. I'm not going to refer you to them. They're not just the best local guys, they're the best guys in the country, maybe the world. How powerful of a value proposition is that? And then when you deliver on that and you take a tax bill, let me give you an example. Let's say you have a client, and I'm just going to throw out numbers. So again, if your biggest clients are bigger than that or smaller than that, it doesn't really matter. Let's say you have a client that's going to pay $1 million in tax. That's a round number, right? So they have $1 million income tax bill, right? They have a large estate, they have a lot of moving parts, they have employees that might be, hey, we're going to leave, we're going to join your competitor. This is a business owner that's got some problems, and he comes to you and he says, hey, this is what I got. I don't want to pay $1 million in tax. What do you do about that? How are you going to solve that problem? Are you going to refer him out to your defined benefit guy? He's going to come in and say, okay, well, I can maybe help you put away $250,000. You know, so we'll save you about $125,000 off your $1 million tax bill. I mean, are you going to get invited to Christmas dinner for something like that? And then he might say, well, there's too many employees, we can't even do a defined benefit plan. Let's look at a 401k and IRA, let's add your wife to the 401k. So it's not going to be $125,000 savings, it's going to be maybe $50,000 savings off a $1 million bill. I mean, what do? You know, how do you solve a $1 million tax problem? Do you find the best tax attorney in town? Do you send your client to that tax attorney and pray and hope he doesn't ruin the relationship? This is a real quandary. This is part of what is creating a bad experience for affluent business owners, which is forcing them to look for another CPA, a better CPA experience. So if you refer that business owner to our firm or to a world-class firm, let's say you're already working with a world-class firm, and they take that $1 million tax problem and they say, look, we can put in a number of these charitable strategies. We have access to CLATs, GRATs, CRTs, all sorts of charitable strategies, captive insurance, ESOPs, all sorts of ideas, and we look at all these concepts. Let's say we solve the problem. Let's say we don't screw up the relationship. We do a great job. And we take his $1 million tax bill and we cut it in half. We're going to cut his tax bill in half over the next 5 years. We're going to take that $2.5 million of savings, and we're going to invest it in such a way to create a tax-free retirement plan. We're going to create, we're going to do some mitigate, we're going to do some gifting, we're going to move some assets out of his estate, we're going to take care of his estate tax problem, we're going to put golden handcuffs on his top 2 employees to keep them from leaving to go to a competitor. Now this business owner is going, man, he's at the best country club in town, and he's with his 7 other buddies, 2 foursomes, they all make more money than him, and what is he saying? He's going, man, my CPA referred me to this group, Tonkin, Lombardi group, they completely took care of my tax problem. They're saving me $2.5 million in taxes over the next $2.5 million. You know how much time it takes me to make $2.5 million net of taxes? This guy's saving that for me in 5 years. He's putting that money to work. He's building me this incredible tax-free retirement plan. I'm going to take care of my everything's taken care of. And his buddies are going, what? Your CPA referred you to who? Can I get this guy Alex's business card? Now, the CPA took a risk. He referred the client to us, and all of a sudden, the buddies of the client are asking for my business card, not the CPA's. Can you see the problem here? The referral was made, and I get all the glory, and the CPA took the risk. What does the CPA get out of it? He gets status quo. The client's not bragging about him because the referral was made to us. So we share this with CPAs, and we're saying you should not be referring your best clients out to anybody ever, especially us, because we're going to do a great job. Other people are going to do a great job. We're not going to screw it up, but you're not going to get any benefit out of it. In our model, we're saying, look, the CPA maintains a relationship with his client, has conversations, earning trust, getting closer with that client. We're going to talk about some of these scripted conversations that CPAs should be having with their clients. They gather intimate information and they share it with someone that they trust, a resource. This resource we call the perfect client advisor. So it's either our firm or we have dedicated analysts who do this, or we can train someone in your firm to act as a perfect client advisor that has access to all these resources that you send the information. It's not private information. It doesn't have, there's no names, there's social security numbers, just information like this. My client owns a business that's generating $3 million of revenue. He's paying $1 million. his AGI is $3 million. He's paying $1 million in tax. He's got these goals in numerical order. He has these outstanding issues. What can we do to build the solution? We don't know where to start. Should it be an IRA, 401k, defined benefit plan? Should it be a CLAT, GRAT, CRT? Where do we start building this thing? Because when I speak with CPAs, and I'm talking with very affluent CPA firms, I'm like, do you do this for your best clients? They're like, yeah. I'm like, how much time does it take you to do this, all these analytics? They're like, a massive amount of time. I'm like, can you do this for all your clients? Absolutely not. Well, how many clients can you actually do this for? Wouldn't it be easier if you had a firm that you trusted that wasn't interested in looking to work with your clients but was interested just to work with you, that could help you analyze all this information and produce a report, a 15-page report that looks like this. The client's problems are this, 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 and this. Here are 6 potential solutions: captive, ESOP, qualified plans, non-qualified plans, charitable structures. Here are the positives and negatives of each of these 6 solutions, and here's what we recommend, and here's a working document that you can show your client. Here's what my team put together for us. Here's the full analysis of all of your goals, all of your problems, with potential solutions, positives and negatives. We have the very best team in the country. This report, you can charge $3,500, $5,000, $10,000 for this report to some of your clients, depending on the situations, and we can produce a report like this for our clients for a few $100s. You know, it takes a law firm to build out these reports for the CPA firms, but we do, you know, we deliver it to you at our cost, and then you upcharge for it. Who is doing that? No CPA firm outside of the firms that we're working with that we know of is putting together a working document like this to show you, here's our open kitchen. This is what we're working on behind the scenes for you, Mr. Business Owner, to help you make this decision. So in our model, the perfect client advisor, or your resource, has access to all the very best resources, the best specialists. Those specialists' job, the way they're trained, is to make the CPA look good, not themselves look good. Because guess what? The best tax attorneys, the best resources, the best specialists in the country, when we meet them, you know, some of these guys drive bulletproof cars. They live in $15, $20 million homes on the coast. They don't work for anyone. They don't want to work for any family office. They don't want to work for the big 4 firms. They want to run their own shops, and they are taught, hey, let me show you. I've got an S on my chest. I am the best resource in the country in this specialty, period. That's how they operate. When they meet us, we show them, you're not going to operate like this. In our model, you are going to make the CPA look good. You are just someone on the team. So there's an owner of the team. That's the CPA. You are one of the players. So you are Walter Payton. You're Jerry Rice. You're Joe Montana. You're just the best all-star player at the position on the team. You're going to be known as that. But when the CPA or the client go, wow, this is amazing, I got other buddies who are making more money than me that you need to work with, that resource will say, no, 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 you need to refer that client to your CPA because I'm just part of his network. And that's what they're taught to do, because when those referrals go to those of specialists and they share their concepts with those end users are going to say, wow, this is amazing. I have no idea what you just said, but it sounds incredible. I have to run this by my CPA. And guess what? They don't have a relationship with that CPA. And so they love working in our model, because in our model, they're always supporting the CPA, and they always have a relationship with the CPA before they go to battle. This is all relationship-based stuff. So this is kind of, hopefully some of you had an aha moment there about a better way of delivering world-class value to your very best clients in such a way that it doesn't put your practice at risk with a third-party referral. Because look, referrals, business owners, you know, if you're worth $10 million, $25 million, you're not a dumb guy. You understand that if your CPA is referring you to someone, maybe it's a quid pro quo. Maybe you're just a big piece of meat that's being sent and shipped over in return for quid pro quo. Maybe that advisor referred some clients to that CPA, and now all of a sudden that CPA is referring his client to an advisor or a specialty firm. These affluent business owners don't like that. And so most CPAs we know aren't referring their best clients to anyone, but they're protecting them, and they're not delivering value to them, and those clients are leaving. And so we're basically, yes.
We have time for another poll question real quick. and then we can get back into the content of it. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll question. Is do you and your tax planning clients have access to the very best resources or solution providers without third-party referral risk? This time, too, I'd like to remind everybody to go ahead and send in any questions or thoughts that you might have, and we can answer some of those throughout the webinar. I'm going to leave the poll up for a few more seconds here, so you can go ahead and answer it. All right, now I'm going to close out and share the results. So it looks like a little bit of a split across the board here, with 25% saying yes, my group knows exactly how to work with my firm, 42% saying no, it would be great as long as I maintain client control, and 33% are unsure.
Excellent. Look, you know, this is no one in the country that we know of is teaching concepts like this, and so we are learning from ourselves. We're learning from our experience in coaching CPA for. You know, I'll give you a story. We had a situation with a client, $3 million adjusted gross income, $25 million net worth situation. The CPA presented an idea to them a year ago December. The client said, you know, I'm just going to pass. And the CPA who's been going through our coaching program realized and shared with us, look, I get it now. You know, the client just doesn't trust me enough. I wish I had a better relationship with this client. And because he's been going through our coaching, he's realized, hey, you know, he's got a lot of clients. They all love him. He's very cool, very affluent practice. He's got clients paying him 6 figures for, you know, in fees, very affluent business owners. But this one client, and there's other clients like that too, just don't trust him enough to bring really sophisticated ideas to the table. And so he's realized, you know what, instead of bringing more ideas to the table, I am going to do what you're telling me to do, and I'm going to develop a better relationship with a certain group of my clients, because I need to earn the right to bring them more sophisticated ideas, and that the way I'm going to earn that right is by investing time with them so that they trust me so that I could lead them better. And that was very raw, very honest. And look, I can't see you guys. I don't know what you look like on the other end of your computers. And so this is not meant to be, and look, we're all advisors to a certain extent. And when our clients say no to us, what they're really saying is, we just don't trust you enough, Alex. We just don't trust you enough, Bill. And once you admit to yourself that that's just what's going on, that instead of lobbing more ideas to them, we need to build a better relationship. There's a simple formula. It's trust plus value equals success. So you can't just give them value without the trust. And you can't just build trust without the value. You need both pieces. A lot of you are very, very good at the value. A lot of you are very good at the trust. If you combine those two pieces, and that's really the system that we believe is the one that's working, that we see working the best. The CPAs who are following this very simple model are having incredible success. So that same CPA that had that issue is now, we're watching them have very difficult conversations with his affluent clients, who are bigger clients than that $25 million guy, who have advisors and CFOs who are trying to get in there, and the CPA is going like this: look, Mr. Client, I know you have advisors who are telling you need to do a captive, you need to do a defined benefit plan. Bottom line is, look, we're here, our firm has access to the very best resources in the country. And if you start doing these, you know, one-off plans here and one-off plans there, you know, maybe they'll fix one side of your Rubik's Cube and screw up the other 5 sides. With our firm, we're going to fix all 6 sides of your Rubik's Cube. And so the question is, do you want us to lead you through this maze, or do you just want to just jump and do business with all these other reasons? Because we have access to the very best people in the country in every area of planning for affluent business owners. So you either take our leadership and work with us, or you can go and work with those other advisors. Look, that's a difficult conversation. It's a scary conversation for anyone to have, let alone affluent CPA firms. They are scared to death of having that conversation. You might be scared to death of having that conversation with one of your affluent clients because they're in the same situation as that I just described. Guess what? We teach CPAs how to have that conversation, and they are winning with those conversations because guess what? They are showing their clients that they have a spine, that they are confident in their own abilities, that they're confident in their team, and at the end of the day, those clients, they want to trust their CPA. They don't want to trust their financial advisor who is a salesperson who knows what he sold them in the past. They don't want to trust their attorney. They don't want to trust all these other people. They don't want their yes men. They want someone to lead them. And part of leadership is relationships, and part of leadership is having those difficult conversations. Look, for those of you who are married, I want you to think about those difficult conversations that took your marriages to a whole new level. And without those difficult conversations, those relationships don't blossom the way they are maybe blossoming now. You and your best clients need to have some difficult conversations. And there's a process. And when you go through those difficult conversations, you're going to bond with those clients. They're going to trust you because they're going to see, wow, this person has a spine and they're in it for my best good. They're not selling me stuff. They just want to lead me. And I need leadership. And they know they need leadership. And so this is part of what you're going to see. So look, I'm going to jump a little bit into Richard Mucio's piece here. 8 tactical strategic issues facing CPA firms. People, right? The average age of CPAs right now is 57 years old. The average owner of a CPA firm believes 59 years old. They're typically white male leadership in the CPA profession. All of a sudden, there's not the same kind of talent coming into the profession as there was coming out. And what's important is we need to train and coach the CPAs out there, the young people in your firms, to take over and build your firm, because they're not going to build your firm the way you built your firms. They're going to build their firms the way they want to build their firms. They don't want to invest all this time. They don't want to work 80, 90 hours a week. They want to invest their time on what's most important to them. They want quality of life. So there is a way to train your people to be strategic and to operate as CPA firms of the future and change the culture of the firm. Paperlessness. Look, you know, obviously there's a lot of technology. We have access to a lot of the very best technology out there, software systems, web-based systems that take you into the cloud. I'm sure you already know a lot about this, but there's a lot of CPAs who are still in piles of paper, and we want to help you get out of that paper piles and into technology so that you can create more time for what's most important. SageWorks is one of the resources that we love to create more time for what's most important. You know, workflow processes. Look, there's a way to create time, and we coach on how to create that time. And your workflow process, when we look at it, we may help you create a lot more time with the workflow. Technology, we talked about that. Extreme seasonality. There's ways to create revenue throughout the year instead of just tax season stuff. There is planning opportunities that need to be created, but you need to create time for that. Hourly billing. You know, CPAs might charge $300, $400 for an hour where they fixed a $300 problem, and in an hour they might work with one of the best resources in the country and save someone $1 million in taxes. Do you really want to charge the same amount for that hour where you save the guy $300 versus an hour where you save the guy $1 million? Those hours are different. They're differently valued. They should be priced accordingly. And there's a very simple way for you to shift from hourly billing into project billing or value billing, and your business owners will appreciate it, and they will get it, and they will be happy to pay for it, and that could change your life and change your business model. Succession planning, we talked a little bit about that, is how do you transfer your business to someone in such a way to maximize your compensation for building this thing and make it attractive to other buyers or those who are going to take over your practice. Obviously, marketing and differentiation. Look, you know, a lot of CPAs, when I say, hey, how do you differentiate yourselves? They'll say, well, you know, I'm known as the tax guy, and that's how I'm different from other CPAs. Well, are you aware that, you know, most CPAs think of themselves as the tax guy? The question is, when someone asks you, what do you do for a living? You know, what is your answer to that? Because that is your 30-second Super Bowl commercial. The way Richard answers that question, he might say, I help affluent business owners and wealthy families better understand their finances. That leads to another question. It opens up a discussion. Look, bottom line is these are areas that there is tremendous room for growth for more CPAs, and we're going to talk to you about how to get access to a world-class training in those areas. When you meet a new prospect, when you're at a dinner party, when you're meeting someone and you ask them what they do for a living, and they're an affluent business owner, they're a wealthy family, and they ask you what you do, and you tell them, hey, I help families better understand their finances. Wow, you know, we have access to the very best resources in the country. We work with affluent business owners. We help them take their tax bills. We cut them in half. Wow. Well, how do you do that? Well, you might say, well, let's sit down. We'll talk about it. You know, I'll typically I charge quite a bit, but well, let's sit down for a free 30-minute conversation. And in that conversation with this affluent business owner who's not having a good experience with the other CPA, you might ask them, hey, what are your family's key values? See, that's a question most advisors, most CPAs, most attorneys aren't going to ask because they don't know the answer. It's scary. Most advisors, most CPAs are asking questions. They already kind of have an idea what the answer is. Here you're asking them an open-ended question. What are your key values? They might say, wow, I've never even thought about that. That's so cool that you asked me. Maybe they'll share some of that with you. May I see your forward-looking projections, budgets, financial statements? Well, what do most business owners have? They have backwards-looking financial statements. They don't have forwards-looking financial statements, so they may not have that. And all of a sudden you ask them that question, they're going to be like, well, my CPA hasn't done that for me. You do that kind of stuff? Yeah. How are you driving your car forward, your business forward without having a view of the future? May I see your fair market value cost basis balance sheet? I mean, what business owner has that? But if you start asking those kinds of questions, what are these business owners going to think of you? They're going to say, wow, this guy is different. He's asking me stuff my CPA's never asked. He's providing forward-looking leadership, proactive planning. That's what I need. I need a leader who can look forward and help me navigate through this because I'm just a business owner. I make widgets and sell widgets. I have no idea how to navigate this. That's the honest truth. I mean, you know, one story that Richard shares is he had a client contact him from a CPA firm that he helped consult because he consults a lot of CPA firms and they trust Richard because he's not going to steal their clients because his smallest client's worth $350 million. Well, this client happened to be running about a $250 million business, and she was very upset. And she emailed Richard, and the email was something like this: look, I really can't believe I haven't found out about this solution before. I don't have time to dedicate to my church, to my friends, to tennis. I'm spending all this time here. My company does, you know, X $100 million in revenues. We're worth this much. We have these bank accounts all over the country, all over the world. We have these assets, these real estate pieces here, 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 and here. Blah, 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 blah. And so Richard says, the title of my new book is going to be blah, 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 because this business owner, you know, who's got hundreds of millions of dollars business valuation would be an A client in most CPA situations, but their personal CPA was not aware that their client was not happy because he was just producing what the client needed and not what the client wanted, and the client wants time. The client wants time. And the only way to create this time for this situation is to build a family office and have one point of contact to manage all of these issues so that the client can play some tennis, dedicate some time to her church, because at this point, having built this incredible fortune, she kind of deserves, her and her husband deserve maybe to have a nice quality of life, but they don't. They're not happy because they're dealing with their blah, blah, blah. In fact, that's what she's calling these assets, blah, blah, blah. It's not important to her. So the message is, if CPAs don't know what clients that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars want, my goodness, what an opportunity for every one of you guys on this webinar today. You just figured out that there are affluent business owners all over your town that are not getting service because their CPAs are too busy dealing with tax law changes, B and C clients, a gazillion excuses. They don't have the best resources. They don't have ideas. They're just telling their clients to pay the tax and don't fire me. And I hope you don't come on Alex's webinar and find out that there's a better way of doing business, because if you did, then you would leave and find a CPA who's working with a group like that so we can have the best resource, so we can use leverage, and so I can play tennis and golf and donate time to my church because that's what's going to make me happy, and I'm not happy. My CPA is not providing leadership and he has no clue what I want. He's just giving me stuff that I need, and it's blah, blah, blah. This is what's going on out there, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we've seen. And when we saw this, we were compelled to share this with you all because from our perspective, this is a massive opportunity. The ones who are going to take advantage of this, and timing is everything, and right now is the time because the percentage of CPAs who are doing what we're sharing here, operating a CPA from the future, is less than 0.5%. It might be less than 0.1% of the whole profession. So when you ask a business owner, what keeps you up at night? How may I serve you? These are servant leadership questions. This is powerful stuff. If there's one thing you could have more of, what is that thing? Don't you want to know what your very best clients want? There's a way to do this. So if you want to become the CPA from the future, there is a way. First of all, you have to invest time and spend time with 5 clients per year. Your 5 best clients per year, you need to take them to lunch. We're going to show you what to say and how to say it. You need to find the very best resource in the country. We're going to show you a place where you can find all these very best resources in a very efficient way. And we do this, and then monetize your A client relationships, create more revenue for them by delivering more value so you can have the same revenue that you're making now or more revenue that you're making now from a very small percentage of your client base, and that's going to create time and space for you, and you're going to show that to your business owners so they can create time and space for themselves, and you're going to change the world in a multi-generational fashion because they want more time and space. And they need someone to show them how to have that. And that's going to make you very different from every other CPA and advisor in town. So, yes, you can go to conferences. There's lots of conferences where there's blah, 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 and you can get CEs. And my goodness, how boring are these conferences where they're going to teach you all this technical stuff. And what are you going to do with the technical stuff? Do more technical work for your clients. Your clients don't want more technical work. They want leadership. So all that technical stuff is great, and you need that. Okay, and then there's these rah conferences, right, where they tell you, hey, go to more networking meetings and you can do it, and if you work harder, you'll get these clients and you'll make more money, and you're going, I don't have time. I don't have time to do this. I don't want to trade more of my time for more money. I'm making plenty of money. I don't want to make less money. I like money, but I really want time. My time's running out. And so what we've done is we've built a conference that has all of these resources in one place, just one spot. You can come for a few days and get access to the best coaching, leadership, relationship coaching, the best technical experts, and all of these resources are trained to not take referrals and to make you look good and to point back at you. And so the conference that we're talking about is the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference, which was launched from the Advanced Tax Planning Institute that we've done 11 times. We've done 11 Advanced Tax Planning Institutes in a row, and we've decided that the time is to put some steroids in there and to make it bigger and better and open this up to CPAs around the country. And we're calling this the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference. And so in this conference, you're going to have the rah and the blah, 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 and it's going to be ooh la la because you're going to have the very best resources at this event. How do you increase your average revenue per client by over 500%? How do you create an extra week a month on what's most important? And how do you meet the very best specialists, the best tax attorneys, best specialists in every area of tax planning, including SageWorks? How do you meet all of these resources and technical experts and technology pieces in one spot so that you can transform your life and to become a CPA from the future and provide leadership in your community? The Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference does all those things. And so we have access to that. And you're going to meet Anthony Lombardi, who is the very best. This is a person who has changed my life. Before I met Anthony Lombardi, I was dealing with hundreds of clients. I was dealing with hundreds of end users. I only deal with CPA firms. I am coaching my son's football team, flag football, basketball team. I am investing time with my 4 children. I'm investing time with my wife that I would have never invested before, because I was not going to sacrifice my business for anything, because the way I was providing leadership for my family was bringing money home. And now I realize that instead of money, because I still want to make money, I need to invest time with them. Time is the love, is what I want to invest in my family. Money is money, but time is precious. And so Anthony Lombardi has showed me and changed my life, because he's the very best relationship coach in the world from my vantage point. If there's a better one, please share that with me. And I would love that to meet someone else who's doing this, because I don't know of anyone else who's teaching relationship building in the country besides Anthony Lombardi. No one is doing this strategic way. So Anthony Lombardi will be there. Richard Musi will be there. We have the very best captive specialists in the country. We have a guy named Kirk Knoll who is helping business owners save money using 9 different disciplines. There's qualified planning expert. There's the very best tax credit specialist. There's the best cost segregation specialist. The best charitable planning solutions out there. You know, we are bombarded with the very best of the best, and we vet them out. And they go through a very strenuous process to join us at the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference, and our clients love it. We are getting the attention of the profession. Accounting Web just did a story about Anthony Lombardi, my partner, who is the best relationship coach in the country. He's talking about, you know, serving the wrong clients, how you can make more money by serving the right clients, and talking about this opportunity. The Accounting Today did a story about me and the Advanced Tax Planning Institute, which we did 11 times, which is now being called the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference. And you can go and look up this article, you know, in Accounting Today, and Google Alex Sonk and Accounting Today. Read the full article. Talk about, you know, this is no one else is doing this. No one else is teaching these concepts in such a way where we have the AICPA, we have world-class CPA firms, world-class specialists attending these conferences. They've never seen anything like it, and they're blown away because the lives of these CPAs are being changed. And so we have systems. We have systems from taking when a CPA has a problem, their client has a problem, $1 million tax problem, $100,000 tax problem, $200,000 tax problem. Client wants to get the business valuation of his firm to triple and sell his company for $10 million, and it's only worth $3.3 million today. How do we help him do that? Well, first it starts with a fact pattern. That fact pattern is sent in to your private, trusted fact pattern analytics department, and you will meet these people at the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference. And this is a process of taking information from you that is private, that is no names, no social security numbers, just bland information. Here are the goals, here are the revenues, here's the adjusted gross income numbers, here's what the client wants to accomplish, here's the challenges. How do we come up with a solution? Here's the process of how that solution goes through you to your client without you referring your client. Number one, we want to eliminate third-party referral risk. Number two, we want at the end of this process your client to be bragging about you at the very best country club in town. And the process that most CPAs are using to deliver value to their best clients is not producing organic growth. Their clients aren't bragging about their CPAs because their process is creating that result. And so if we want your clients to brag about you, and you want your top clients to be referring their best friends and other business owners that are making more money than to you, which most CPAs want, we need to use a system. If you want to deliver affluent solutions, sophisticated solutions that actually solve complicated tax problems, you need to have more trust with your client. If you just want to put a defined benefit plan or a 401k and IRA, any CPA, any advisor can do that for a client. But if you want to actually solve their tax problems, you have to find and learn about these sophisticated solutions behind the scenes without your clients there. And that's why we do this at the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference, Advanced Tax Planning Institute. And we know that CPAs have to have time and space to ask a series of questions from these specialists to get comfortable, to understand the risks involved. Because, yeah, we have solutions that we have access to. We have law firms that we don't allow to speak at the ATPI, the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference, because, yeah, they're going to solve the problem. You're going to end up in tax court. You're probably going to win in tax court, but we don't want to send anyone to tax court. And so we want to find those solutions that are vetted out that don't create audit risk, that don't put people in a situation where they're, you know, connected with tax shelters. We don't like tax shelters. Our CPAs don't want tax shelters. We want really good, clean planning, and that involves having access to the very best people, but it also involves you having an amazing relationship with your best client where they trust you enough to be open for you to introduce them to these resources so they can actually do their work. So that pyramid that you just saw, we're going to show you all those solutions at the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference, and we're going to see if you're comfortable with those or not. And if you want to get more comfortable, we're going to give you opportunities to grill and ask those specialist questions, and you're going to arm yourself with the arrows in your quiver that differentiate you from other CPAs in town that also deliver amazing value to your very best clients. So the 6 conversational scripts that CPA, you know, this is part of Perfect Client Pro, which is one of the sponsors of the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference, and this is one of the coaching that we do, that we take our CPAs through. And so this is one of the conversations, okay? This is a nugget that you are going to want to take, you know, you're going to want to listen to. So when you're meeting with your best affluent business owner, you might say, look, why are you sacrificing so much to build your business? Bob, you built this incredible business. Why? What are you doing it for? Take me into your perfect world. What does your perfect world look like 5 years from now? And you listen and you take notes. And then your second question is, what do you expect from me as your CPA to help you get to this perfect world? That second question binds you to this business owner, and they now look at you as a partner and not just a resource, and not just a service provider, not just a tax return provider. You are their partner. I'm going to help you get there. That's how you help them get there. Is you ask them this question: what do you expect from me to help you get to this perfect world? And then you listen, and you take mental notes, or you write these notes down. And then the third bullet point is this: I've made an important decision in my firm. I've made an important decision in my firm to deliver more value to this relationship. You are so important to me that I'm taking my bottom X 50%, 60%, 20% of my clients, I'm moving them to another CPA so I can deliver more value to you. And instead of just having X, the best local resources, I've plugged into a network of the very best specialists in the country, the best tax attorneys, the best resources, the best thought leaders that support the best CPA firms, so I could deliver the best ideas, proactive planning to you, so I could deliver more to this relationship. Now, last year you paid this X in taxes. This year, it looks like you're going to pay a little bit more. What if we put these guys to work and have them come up with a bunch of ideas, or at least 1 or 2 ideas, that can help you maybe save 50% of your tax bill? Do you want us to work on that for you this year, or push it out to next year? What do you want to do? So you're making them jump through some hoops. The more hoops you make them jump through, because these 4 bullet points, if you learn how to do this with your clients, your relationships will get stronger. You will earn the right to gather more intimate information. That intimate information, when you have found fact pattern analytics and accessed all these best-of-breed resources, will turn into solutions. Those solutions are going to come through you to your very best client, and you are going to look amazing, and your clients are going to be bragging about you at the very best country club in town when their buddies are going, hey, wait, what happened? Yeah, I was going to pay $3 million in tax, and now, you know, my CPA brought these guys in, and now I'm only going to pay $1.5 million in tax. They're going to take that $1.5 million tax savings over the next 5 years. That's $7.5 million of tax savings. They're putting that money to, or whatever the numbers are. They're saving me $100,000 in tax. They're saving me $200,000 in tax per year over the next 5 years. They're going to save me $1 million over the next 5 years. $1 million. They're going to put that money to work, build me this. And they're going, wait, they did what? I make more money than you. Who's your CPA? That's what this is all about. This is all about your very best clients bragging about you, so their business owners, buddies, and their family members are affluent, going, who's your CPA? My CPA is in the Bahamas right now. They haven't done any proactive planning for me. They just tell me to pay the tax quarterly and save me a couple $1,000 off my $1 million tax bill. This is what's going on out there. It's not being addressed, and the CPAs you're competing with cannot address it because their business is suffocating them and they can't get out of their own way. And so strategically, we can help CPAs get out of their own way, and all you have to do is come out to San Diego next year. In 2016, we are doing this event called the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference. It costs about $2,000 to attend, but because of our strategic ability to work with sponsors, we work with other resources, we figured out a way to create a scholarship for CPAs and qualified EAs that out-of-pocket cost is only $449 instead of $1995. So that's a scholarship of over 75% for this training where you get to meet all of these resources. Look, maybe you'll pick up one idea. Maybe you'll pick up 3 ideas. Maybe you'll pick up 50 ideas at this event. Maybe this event will change your life. Maybe you'll be able to invest more time with your family, and you'll change your life with your family, your relationship with your spouse, your loved ones. Maybe this is going to help you deliver so much value to one of your clients that client is going to be so impressed, he's going to introduce you to 2 other clients just like him. And all of a sudden now you're going to be able to make more money in less time, and you're going to be able to take a portion of your clients and move them to another CPA firm and change your life. Because we can make more money, but we can't make more time without a strategic plan. And so maybe this isn't the perfect solution for all of you, but maybe it is for one of you or some of you. This is working. This is not just an idea. This is actually working for CPAs. We are watching CPAs grow and change. And so if you want this, if you want us to save your seat, because there's a limited number of seats, just type in "save my seat." That's all you got to do. In your dialog box, save my seat. We'll get in contact with you, and we'll help you get to the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference in beautiful, sunny San Diego here in 2016. We believe the event will be in May. It may be in July. Right now, we are working with venues to put this on because this is much bigger than we normally do with the ATPI, and so we're just excited about it. So, Zach, I think I'm good. And I wanted to turn it over back to you and Chad.
Yeah, it sounds great. Thanks so much.
So maybe we would want to throw up another one of our polling questions.
Yeah, I think we do actually have one more polling question real quick. That would be on the conference. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that up real quick. The question is, would you invest 3 days at a premier conference to learn a little bit more about what you saw here today? We can get back in contact with you about this.
Absolutely, and just so you know, we do these for hundreds of CPA firms a month. We have a lot of CPAs after this event. They get in contact with us. By the way, if you want to reach me, our phone number here is 760-602-0832. Is our office number.
All right, well, I'm going to be closing out the poll right now, so go ahead and answer real quick, and then I'm going to shut it down.
Perfect. And if you need to reach us, 760-602-0832, we have CPAs who, it's a little bit late in the year to do any planning, but a lot of CPAs contact us because they want ideas for clients. The best, certainly feel free to reach out to us, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you. We used to support over 40 CPA firms, and we just decided we can't handle that many relationships. We want to just quality over quantity, but that's why we do these events. And so the easiest way to really access us and work with us is to come out to the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference in 2016, and you'll meet us, you'll meet all of these resources, and you'll really get a chance to figure out, hey, is this a group that I can trust? And you will realize that everything we do is for CPAs, to support CPAs. You guys want the brain damage of working with your business owners. We want to only work with professionals like you. We don't want the brain damage of developing and maintaining relationships with your clients. That is not what we signed up for. We signed up to just help CPA firms. So you will see that at the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference, and so much. I want to just thank Zach and Chad and the entire SageWorks team for having me on there. And I know we want to talk a little bit about SageWorks technology here and how it kind of interacts with this CPA firm of the future model.
Yeah, great. And this is Chad, guys, from SageWorks. Great job, Alex. It's going to be pretty tough to follow up on your passion there. So I'm going to apologize in advance to everyone for the change of pace. But just want to kind of plug, what we do a little bit and the value that we add, to accounting firms. For those that are maybe are not familiar with SageWorks, we've been around for 15 to 16 years now with our platform, and essentially what our product does is it allows you to add value to your business clients. It's a simple platform that will convert financial information into a narrative data or narrative analysis that lets you talk to your clients. And as I listen to Alex talk, I realize more and more what our platform does is exactly what he's talking about. It allows you to save time. It allows you to create time and to create a better quality of life, because instead of continuing to do compliance work year after year after year, we're going to focus more on the advisory portion, right? We want you to spend more time on the consulting aspect of what your customers really need, because as he said, H&R Block, TurboTax, whoever else there, they can do taxes, right? Accountants can do taxes, and that's great, but it shouldn't be their bread and butter anymore. You should want to focus your time on helping a business owner grow their business and helping them to sustain a better quality of life for themselves. And that's exactly what SageWorks will allow you to do. It'll allow you to spend time on doing that. Research will show you that the more services you provide to a client, the stickier you're going to be to that individual client, the higher your retention rate is going to be. If you're just doing something like their taxes or their bookkeeping, once again, they're going to shop around and find the cheapest option available year to year. There's nothing to have them remain loyal to you. If you're going to add services around maybe doing some financial analysis, maybe doing some business forecasting, cash flow projections, or even some simple valuation work, right, that's just going to make it harder for them to leave you over time. So they're now invested in staying with you for the long run, and that's what you should want to be doing, right? You should want to have more services that you offer, essentially spending less time on doing these services. And like he said earlier, right, you don't have to have hundreds and hundreds of clients to be successful and to be profitable. If you can offer more services, spend less time on a lower number of clients, and increase the value of what you're offering them, that's what you should want to be doing. And I think the biggest thing, and I've seen this in the years that I've worked here, with accountants, the fear of the unknown, right, is really what leads you to this. You're in a comfortable place. You can do the tax work and the compliance work and the bookkeeping, but what you're scared of is that consulting aspect. You're scared of what they're actually going to ask you, when in reality, any question that your customer asks you to their business, it should be a blessing to you guys. Like, you should openly, or meet that with open arms, right? Because they're actually looking to you now as to what you are, as a respected advisor and as a consultant. So in looking at SageWorks and looking at ProfitSense here, it's really kind of a closed-in circle, right? Number one, you acquire and develop new clients, more progressive-minded clients, right? You need to quit being so what's the word I want to use? Reactive, and start being proactive, right? Differentiate yourself, sell additional services, right? Use software as a service to help you scale your firm, and then you guys are going to see these clients are going to stay on board. They're going to be customers for years, and they're also going to talk and tell others about this, right? These guys are a tight-knit community. They're going to tell their friends and their family about the services you provide, and so you're not going to have to do any additional marketing, right? These word-of-mouth referrals are going to come knocking on your door because of the services that you provide. It can be used as a marketing tool if you want to go that route, and we make it very simple in that aspect as well, but we want to make it so that people are actually looking for you because of the services that you can provide with a software like ProfitSense. Now, what we really focused on, and I think Alex talked about this a great bit, is we're not just a software, right? We're not technology peddlers, right? We actually want to be a technology partner. We have on site a consulting staff or a training team that's going to work with you hand in hand once you do purchase a license, right, it's actually a partnership between ourselves where we're going to help you not only with the functionality, with the implementation of the software, but we're going to help train you on best practices, right? We have the benefit of talking with hundreds of accountants each month, and we understand what the needs of an accounting firm are, what the needs of small businesses are. We're going to help you to show best practices, right, and how to use those success metrics, right? What are everybody having success with? We're going to be able to relay that value along the way with the software itself.
And with that, we want to go ahead and launch our poll asking, is your firm proactively providing advisory services? There's all sorts of options there, and you can go ahead and fill those out because that's what we really see as the future of the CPA is providing these advisory services, giving yourselves the options to grow through giving, like Alex had been talking about, the leadership and insight that they're begging for that because of their time right now they can't get access to. So go ahead and answer these polls. I'm going to leave it up for a few more minutes. But then we also really want to plug this conference that Alex mentioned earlier with the Most Trusted Business Advisor. We're going to be there. We're going to be involved in this whole mindset of how to improve the CPA business, how to make your lives easier, and how to make you more talked about with your clients and with your town and where you're at so that you can have the best resources out there. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close down the poll. Thank you for that. And finally, we just want to really thank Alex for being here today and for giving all of his insight that he's been able to provide. And also thank you for taking some time out of your day to come and sit in with us. And again, if you have any questions for us, feel free to email us. We'll be sending out an email later today, and Alex will be following up with you as well. So the lines of communication are open. So if you want to know more or have any questions about things that we can be providing to you, please feel free to reach out to us. And Alex, do you have anything else to add?
No, I just want to say thank you so much for you guys to be working with you guys. It's fun to work with like-minded organizations and like-minded people. And I just want to leave everyone on one note. We travel around the country and we go to all these different coaching clinics and we meet with thought leadership around the country. And there's a lot of coaches out there that are training CPAs and advisors. And what we've noticed, a lot of the stuff is just sleight of hand. It's just magic. It's look over here, look over here. It's just it's not real. It's and hopefully what you've gathered from the last 90 minutes is that the concepts that we just talked about and in concert with SageWorks, this is real stuff. These are real conversations. This is a real system that you can be really proud of. And when you tell your story to your best clients, you can be really proud. Here's my open kitchen. This is how it works. This is not about learning a script that's going to move your client from here to here. This is about a real process and something tangible that allows you to make an impact. And when we talk about these people are thirsting for leadership and they want more time for what's most important, I'm telling you, this is a concept that became new to me as of 7-8 years ago when I joined this firm. And once I started recognize that was an issue and started to bring that into my client meetings and conversations, everything started to change. And so once we help CPAs start to have that conversation, it is incredible how quickly relationships change between them and their very best clients. So like I said, I'm really, really excited about the relationship. Thank you all for hanging out with us here for the last 96 minutes here. It's an incredible investment of your time, and hopefully we gave you an ROI and gave you some nuggets to take home. And go have these conversations with your clients, and then email me or contact us or contact SageWorks. Let Zach know, hey, we had that perfect world conversation with one of our clients, and it was amazing. And they want us to do more stuff for them, and we're going to charge them more for that, and we're going to monetize that relationship, and we're going to help change their lives. So that's really where I want to end with, and I want you guys to have a great rest of your week or weekend, and looking forward to hopefully seeing some of your faces at the Most Trusted Business Advisor Conference in 2016. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Alex.
And Chad. Thanks, guys.